It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
How's everybody? Did I tell you about my Halloween last night? Right now I'm trying to make a trade with Braylon Edwards on fantasy. He's trying to rip me off. He ripped Jeff off. Now he's coming after me. Luke is trying to get involved in this as well. Not yet, but I'm going to.
Oh, look at this.
There's Tony.
All right. How about a little bit of a restart here, gang? We apologize for that, and we appreciate you sticking through with us. We are broadcasting live on remote at Planet Fitness in Shelby Township. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Parker. We got JB as well. There is so much to get to, guys, and we're going to try to get it all done today. We're going to talk in about 15 minutes from now with Terry Foster. He spoke personally with Jim Stapleton at the NCAA to get the latest on what the NCAA knows about these Jim Harbaugh and Michigan football infractions. Dan Miller will join us talking Lions coming up at 3 o'clock if you're watching live. If you are not, that's about 45 minutes from now. We'll check in with the intern AI as well. But first, Braylon, I just want to get to the news of the day, really, and it has to do with the Las Vegas Raiders firing Josh McDaniels and their general manager just a couple of days after losing to the Detroit Lions here on Monday Night Football.
Definitely will do that. Definitely will get to the Josh McDaniels, but let's do a favor. Let's talk about Dispo real quick. Take a break and then come back and do that.
Do it.
Dispo, they're your local plug. Romeo Dispo, now open until 12 at midnight. The best place to consume your cannabis products, whether it's flower, whether it's oil, whether it is edibles, they're the best place. They do it the best. Over 12 locations around the state. Dispo is your local plug.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, guys, when buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how'd you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Check them out. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
And again, live from Planet Fitness in Shelby, I want to thank everybody that has sat through those technical difficulties with us. Really appreciate each and every one of you, especially in the YouTube chat right now. Over 300 of you. We wouldn't be here without you, so I just wanted to acknowledge you guys sticking with us. We really appreciate it. We believe we've got a great show for you today. Braylon, news of the day in the NFL, the Raiders just fire everybody. Jimmy G gets benched. Josh McDaniels gets fired.
What do you mean I'm fired?
And the general manager gets fired as well, Dave Ziegler. New England Patriots guys do not work. How many more times do you think NFL teams bang their head against the wall? This is insane.
Look, we can definitely start there. I got a question to ask you guys about. Is this, and I want you to think about it. I'll ask now, talk about the New England coaching network, and then we'll think about it. Is this firing of Josh McDaniels, is this a problem with the organization and Mark Davis, or is this a problem with Josh McDaniels and the things that he's done since he's been a coach? You think on that.
I already know the answer.
Listen, it doesn't work with former guys that played or coached for Bill Belichick. It doesn't coach with guys that come off his tree. Can we come off of that now? Whether it was Romeo Crennel, who, by the way, who did he coach? I got drafted by Romeo Crennel. Exactly. So, and listen, no, he's a great defensive coordinator, great defensive mind. He was not a head coach. I also had Eric Mangini once upon a time ago. He was a great mind of football. I think he's one of the most brilliant minds of football that I know. Not a head coach. He just was not a head coach. The list goes on and on and on. Stop hiring guys off that tree, and then what happens is they hire guys from the Bill Belichick tree, from the sidelines of Gillette Stadium and Foxborough. Stop bringing these guys in. Stop giving them chances without actually taking them through the taking them fully through the coach hiring process, sitting them down. What's going to make you different than, like, sitting them down and really have conversations when really interview these coaches. You're hiring these guys because they're Bill Belichick's guys. They should figure it out. They should know. And then they come in, they mess your organization up, and then you fire them. So stop hiring guys from Bill Belichick because you got to vet these guys. That's where you get a head coach. You got to vet them. You want to know. I guarantee you the process of hiring Dan Campbell or hiring Robert Saleh when they went to New York and Detroit, respectively, was very different than when Las Vegas sat down with Josh McDaniels. It's very different when they sat down with Josh McDaniels the first time in Denver. It's very different when they sat down with Romeo Crennel in Cleveland. I know for a fact. Sit down with these coaches. Get to know these coaches, because you know what's going to keep happening? They're going to keep ruining your franchise, is what Josh McDaniels did in the last year.
Okay, you asked the question, whose fault is it?
Yep.
It's Mark Davis's fault for firing Rich Bisaccia, not rehiring him. As a guy that took over for John Gruden, what a disaster. Henry Ruggs goes to jail, kills a poor woman and her dog in a speeding accident. Yeah. Terrible. Terrible. Rich Bisaccia takes them to the playoffs. They win a game. They could have won 2 damn games in that playoff. It was amazing. Great run. Players love him. What do? They go out and get Josh McDaniels because he's a hot name. Yeah. Josh McDaniels is only a hot name because Tom Brady made him. And people are starting to realize that Tom Brady is behind Bill Belichick's success as well. I'm not saying Bill Belichick isn't a great coach. He is. I don't know if he's the best coach of all time. It's sure not looking like it the last few years. And I think you guys aren't going to argue with me there. The other side of the ball is Josh McDaniels lasted 241 days or so with Denver. He lasts 211 days here with the Raiders. He gets a 4-year deal. He's walking away with almost $100 million of guaranteed money. They go and get this guy, and he is a disaster. He was a disaster on Monday night. I called you guys. That was the worst coach game I have ever seen. And Jimmy Garoppolo played one of the worst games I have ever seen by a quarterback. Yeah. Both
Davis agreed with you.
Mark Davis finally agrees with me. Ziegler, the guy, the GM, he brings in like 8 or 9 expatriates. Those expatriates only work for one team, the Patriots. You take them and put them on other teams, 90% of them flame out. It's just a terrible thing what the Raiders are in right now. And where do they go from here? Antonio Pierce was hired, former Giant linebacker, won a Super Bowl with the G-Men. Guess who they play this week? The Giants.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I just want to address, one of the guys, where is it? Silent Service says explain, what's his name? I lost the tweet. Explain Vrabel in Tennessee. Vrabel wasn't a coach.
Right, he wasn't a coach.
Vrabel was not a coach or a coordinator for New England. He was a player. That's a huge difference.
Listen, if you guys want to be that, if you want to be that way, you want to always have something to say. Because I can literally name you 11 coaches that came off that tree. You found the one, and guess what? Even he wasn't even a coach off the tree. There is one off the tree though, and it is your boy. It's the guy that he brought back, Bill O'Brien.
Yes.
Bill O'Brien had success with the Tennessee Titans. Now that's the Houston Texans. Yes. Excuse me. He had 4 winning seasons, got to the playoffs, and even got to an AFC Championship game.
Terrible GM though.
100%. So I will give you credit for that. Bill O'Brien is one. But if we sit here and name you 11 guys, 11 coaches, and you give me one, I think the odds are in my favor.
And he wasn't even that great.
So, the story out today as well regarding regarding the New York Jets trying to acquire Devontae Adams at the trade deadline. And Mike Evans, but just stick with New England or with the Raiders for a second. The Raiders, they do have some talent there on that team. They have a difference maker at defensive end. They have Devontae Adams still. They've got one of the best running backs in the league, and they've got a hell of a left tackle. I mean, there is some pieces there. There are some pieces there. So if you could find a head coach and a quarterback, you might be able to get good quickly, as we say. That's not a bad job in a preeminent city, in a preeminent franchise in this league.
It's definitely not a bad job. The Las Vegas Raiders used to be the Los Angeles Raiders, used to be the Oakland Raiders. They're
Marcus Peters, too.
One of the best franchises that there ever was, and I will agree with that. That is Maz's favorite color scheme ever, 100%. But going back to that question, I'm going to answer it myself. I think it has to be Mark Davis' fault, and it has to be Mark Davis' fault from the standpoint you hired.
Always starts with the owner.
Exactly. You hired him. You knew what happened before he left there. You knew what happened with all the track record of all the coaches that have coached under Belichick. You knew what happened with Josh McDaniels, his track record before when he coached before for the Denver Broncos. But I will say this. Now you have to put a lot of credit on a lot of blame on Josh McDaniels. If you just look at where they are this season, like the fact that you came in and you nailed it on the head, but look at Josh McDaniels. He comes in. He gets rid of Darren Waller. He wants to get rid of Hunter Renfrow. He literally tried to get rid of Josh Jacobs as well, and now they're the 30th or 31st or 32nd in every offense statistical category. Last time I checked, wasn't Josh McDaniels a genius? Wasn't he some type of offensive guru? They are in last place. And then you got rid of Derek Carr after everything that you said, man. It's like the writing was on the wall.
And you got worse. And it just goes to show you, too, is it Mark Davis' fault or is it Josh McDaniels' fault? It always starts with the owner.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Detroit Lions, for instance. Why do you think they're good now? They're not good now because of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. They're good now because Sheila Hamp hired Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
It starts with Sheila. Yeah, that's why the Lions are good now, and that's why the Raiders are right now a bad team.
Raiders have been crap since Al Davis left. Al Davis passed away. He's probably turning over in his grave. He's probably like a pig on a roast. That's how bad he's turning over. That's how bad this Raider franchise has become. They're a laughingstock instead of being one of the elite teams that they were. It sucks. It's embarrassing to the NFL that the Raiders are this bad.
And also, do you think Mark Davis, too, as a guy that's been around this league for a long time, I understand the Lions are what they are now, but do you think it was a little salt in the wound that their performance against the Lions
on national TV,
on Monday Night Football really was kind of sealed the deal? I'm not the Lions.
No.
I can't have my team lose to the Lions.
It definitely
you know what I mean? Because those Jerry Jones, Mark Davis, those older guys, Bray, they look at the Lions a different way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you hit the nail on the head. The older individuals, they look at the Lions a different way. You look at Mark Davis coming in there, he's like, I don't want to hear anything about the brand new Lions. Look, because what did they do when they played the Ravens? They lost 36-6 or 38-6, whatever it was. Look what happened when they played the Seattle Seahawks at home. Supposed to be a revenge game. They lost again. So a lot of the older minds in the league like, yeah, until you show me different, they're the same old Lions. So he probably thought he was going to come up here. Mark Davis didn't pay attention to what his team was doing during the week. I will tell you that. Thought he was going to come up here and play a much better game, at least if not win, they would get a little closer. And what he showed them, he said, look, I don't want to pay another coach or fire another coach and then pay him too, but you know what? I got to do something because what I saw on that Monday night, talking about Mark Davis, it wasn't good enough to represent my franchise. Maybe you need to do something too, Mark Davis.
Jimmy G should have been benched by halftime. He didn't hit a wide receiver until well into the third quarter. And now Aiden O'Connell gets another chance. He played well in the only time that he started this year. So Aiden O'Connell, rookie out of Purdue, it's your ball.
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Terry Foster, our good friend Terry Foster. Terry actually got a call from Jim Stapleton, the man really at the center of what we believe are the leaks, or what was kind of reported or insinuated that Jim Stapleton here.
John, you reported
it. A Jim Harbaugh hater. Many people believe Jim Stapleton, was responsible for Harbaugh not getting the job in Minnesota, and he is now part of the NCAA Infractions Committee. Jim Stapleton called Terry Foster and wants to issue a statement to Woodward Sports.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to talk to Terry and get the latest on that phone call. We'll do that next, but first a message from where we're at right now.
Right now,
Planet
that's right.
Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, look around you, you'll see there's different sizes, shapes, and all coming here to get a good workout in. You can feel comfortable. Work at your fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky, clean gym. I'm telling you right now, it is clean as heck. You can smell all the cleaning products that they use. It is mixed with a little sweat because people are getting it in out here. Full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just, you know what time it is, $10.
Only $10?
Only $10.
Only $10, ladies and gentlemen. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in metropolitan Detroit and thousands throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey guys, when it comes to your pet, you want to give them the best. No skimping on your pet. Premier Pet Supply, hands down, Michigan's best pet store. They've been owned and operated for over 30 years here by a Detroit family, and of course 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 foods at the lowest prices available, and curbside delivery if you need it. Give your pet the best. Give them Premier Pet Supply. Check them out online at premierpetsupply.com.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. We are live from Planet Fitness, the location in Shelby. I want to thank each and every one of you. We had some technical difficulties at the start of the show. Those of you who have stayed with us, we certainly appreciate it. Just wanted to send an extra thank you to everybody out there. I want to bring in Terry Foster now. So just to back it up for everybody, a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was about a week and a half ago, John U. Bacon went on I believe it was a Columbus radio station, and pretty much said that there's probably one man responsible for the leaks of Jim Harbaugh and all of this Michigan news and allegations against them, and it's most likely Jim Stapleton.
And the computer, going into the computer.
Yeah, who hates Jim Harbaugh. Well, Terry Foster got an interesting call today and joins us now. Terry, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We got you. Look
Beautiful.
at that. Technology at its finest. All right, Terry, set the stage for us. What happened? Your phone rings, and who's on the other line?
Jim Stapleton. So, and let me repeat it. It wasn't Jim Stapleton. It was a red hot Jim Stapleton.
Okay. He was pissed off.
Yeah, he was pissed off. He's going to issue a statement. The NCAA is issuing a statement too, and they were going to issue it to the Columbus radio station that John U. Bacon was on, probably Angelique Chingelis at the Detroit News, and whoever covers the Wolverines for the Free Press. But he swears up and down he is not the leak. He doesn't even live in Michigan anymore. He's in Arizona. So a lot of times he doesn't know what's going on. So he had to read it secondhand himself. But he is also on the committee and on the infractions committee, but he has to recuse himself because he's been involved with Michigan. He's been involved with Eastern Michigan University. And from my understanding, I think the news that fits the print is all this Jim Harbaugh stuff with the sign stealing is not in front of the NCAA infractions committee yet. Not to say that they're not investigating, not to say it's not going to be in front of it, but as we speak now, it is not in front of the infractions committee.
What would that tell you, Terry? What would that point tell you, that any investigation is not wrapped up yet and kind of summarized and put before the committee?
Yes. Knowing how the media works, once upon a time I worked in it, every story I read always said unnamed sources. And at some point, there's got to be a story that says the NCAA knows this or the NCAA said or whatever. But my understanding is you're going to get a statement from Jim Stapleton and the NCAA. I thought I was going to get it today. Maybe it's going to come out tomorrow that says that we ain't got it. It's not in front of us yet. And who's to say if it's going to be? It probably will, but as of now, the NCAA is officially not investigating Jim Harbaugh. But there's a lot of media speculation. Now, I have been known to write stories from unnamed sources, and most of the time my people are right. But at some point through the process, at least after a week or two, you start to get information from the institution, from a named source, or from somebody a name that you know, that you trust. This has been going on for 3 weeks. And to me, this is a long time to still be writing stories with unnamed sources. So it tells me that some of this stuff is not true. Probably some of it is true. But now we have to figure out what is true and what's not, and how much trouble Jim Harbaugh is going to be in. I think at this point, as we speak now, it's ridiculous to say that Jim Harbaugh is going to get in trouble. It's ridiculous to say that Michigan is going to get in trouble. And on the other hand, it's also ridiculous to say that they're going to get off scot-free. We have no information in front of an official NCAA board right now. So to me, this is all speculation, innuendo, and it could go either way.
Hey, Terry, I appreciate the call, and I'm glad Jim called you. What did he basically say? I know he says that he's not involved and all of that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Here's a guy that used to work for the Detroit Tigers as well, and there are a lot of people out there that think it's him. How many people can actually be wrong about this story? I know the guy's defending himself, and it is what it is. But
he says that the reason this story became a story is because of John U. Bacon. And I do know this, that if John U. Bacon says something, everybody believes it.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, Stapleton is saying, no, this isn't necessarily true. It's not true. So that's how this story got rolling. And I think other people globbed off the bacon because he's very well respected and trusted by people. And I think Staples is telling us this time, don't believe him. He doesn't have his information right. And plus, when he said it, it was almost like he was speculating. This is his belief that Stapleton was the perpetrator. And I've gotten phone calls from people who asked me, now, does Stapleton hate Jim Harbaugh? As far as I know, no, that's not the case. And also, somebody else asked me, well, does Stapleton want Ron English as the Michigan head coach? I said, I doubt that very seriously.
Yeah, T-Foss, good to talk to you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. We got to link up soon. What do you think about the situation as it relates to what's going on with Jim Harbaugh? Like Matt said, where there's smoke, there is fire. You know, there are no idiots up here. We definitely know where there is smoke, there is fire, so there's something going on. What does it mean into the overall landscape of Michigan in terms of Jim Harbaugh, wins, games, eligibility, not this year. There's nothing they can do next year. Eligibility next year, maybe them costing themselves Heisman, things like that. What do you think is going to happen with where the speculation is versus where the small, minute things that may be true are?
I think there could be minimal punishment if some of this stuff is true. The NCAA doesn't like to land body blows to major universities.
Yeah.
Whether it's Michigan, Alabama, or someone like that. I mean, they like to get North Alabama and South Florida and schools like that. I do believe this. Michigan is no longer a squeaky clean program, and I think that happened under Harbaugh's watch. But you have to understand this also. Michigan has been a program where here in the state of Michigan, you either think they're great or if you're Spartan, they stink. But Michigan, to me, could never win a national championship. Michigan could never beat Alabama when it was Alabama. They could never beat Clemson when they were really Clemson, or any of the SEC schools who are gunning for a national title. Now I think Harbaugh's like, okay, they took away my money. They did a lot of things to me that I don't like. So winning the Big Ten is no longer good enough. Michigan has to compete for a national title. So I think he's doing the same things that they're doing in Alabama and Georgia to make sure that Michigan is a big boy and not just a big boy in the Midwest.
Gotcha.
And I think that's something that Michigan fans are going to have to come to grip with, which they should, because if you want to win, you have to be on the shady side of the street. You can't do it with, just being a good guy or there's no illegal recruiting, there's no spy gates or whatever. You can't do it the goody-goody way or the old way. You've got to have some enhancements. You have to, especially with name, image, and likeness and all this kind of stuff that kind of even the playing field, you got to come up with something else to stand out, to be, now it would be a Georgia and an Alabama 5 years ago, or Clemson 4 or 5 years ago, so you have to do something that's probably on the shady side of the street.
You know what,
Michigan.
And you know what, Terry, I'm glad you brought that point up, because I think one of the false narratives, and I hate that word, one of the false narratives is, people saying that, Michigan withdraws the right now to say that they're better than everybody else or they're more ethical than everybody else. I don't remember walking around and saying that to anybody to begin with. I just don't. I mean, we have said before.
It is a rep, right?
Well, it's fine. I don't go around puffing my chest and say, but we do it the right way.
But you're one alum.
Okay.
You're one alum.
I'll
let him go.
Hey, brother, maybe you didn't, but your brothers and sisters did.
Yeah.
That's why you guys are called arrogant asses.
Maybe so, but I will tell you this much as well. For Michigan fans, you cannot have it both ways here. You just don't get it both ways. Beating Ohio State and winning the Big Ten championship was your cap. If you don't want that to be your cap, if you want to compete with Alabama and Georgia and USC and LSU and Texas and Notre Dame and all these other schools, you are going to have to maybe go right up to that line. Yeah. Go right up to that line. Difference between Michigan, Terry, and the SEC, the SEC protects their own. They keep all that stuff in-house. You don't have Alabama out there, ratting out Georgia, and Georgia ratting out Alabama. You had that a little bit when Nick Saban went after Jimbo Fisher and paying players and stealing recruits and this stuff. And you know who squashed that? The SEC. The SEC squashed it.
But you know what that stems from, Ryan and Terry? I'm sorry to cut you off if you're about to say something. Where it stems from is, where's everybody in the SEC from? They're from under Nick Saban. It's quite the opposite in Bill Belichick. The people that coach under Saban, they actually have success. So when you have Gus Malzahn or Jim McElwain or Kirby Smart or all these guys, you can't rat out Nick Saban because you're all from his tree. But in the Big Ten, we're so separate. We are completely so separate that it's like, I know what they're doing up there in East Lansing. I know what they're doing down there in Ann Arbor. Oh, I know what they're doing over there in Ohio State. So it's completely different from the SEC because they all come from under Nick Saban and Alabama.
Yeah, and also the Big Ten has a longer history of hate.
Yeah.
Michigan and Michigan State have a long history of hating each other. Michigan, Ohio State, a long history of not only hating each other, but despising each other, which is the other one would just go away. So even though, Alabama, Georgia is competitive, this is a new rivalry. This is new stuff. Our stuff's been going on for decades. It's been going on since the 50s and 60s and 70s. So you have a history of Michigan trying to keep Michigan State out of the Big Ten. The Spartans, okay. And now you've got the Spartans for years.
Michigan and Minnesota go back to the 1800s.
Huh?
I said the Michigan and Minnesota hate goes back to the 1800s with the water, spike in the water.
Right, and we're only privy to Michigan, Michigan State, and Michigan, Ohio State, but they got the same thing with Iowa and Minnesota, Wisconsin and Minnesota, Purdue, Indiana. Now, we don't care about those programs, but that hatred goes there too.
Yeah.
And Ryan and I discovered something a few years ago. You know who else hates Michigan? Almost as much as Ohio State and Michigan State.
The
Big
SEC?
Ten school. It's in the Big Ten. What school do you think?
Penn State.
Absolutely.
Penn State.
Illinois. I spent a weekend on Illinois.
That's because we own their state. They're mad. The Big Ten Conference is located in Illinois, and we own it.
No, they're pissed because if somebody can play at Illinois, their first choice is to go to Michigan, not to go to Illinois or any school around there. That's their first choice. And I got chewed out several times. And there was this one lady who was a big Illini fan, and she just pretty much broke down to me. And she said, "Now, I hate that damn school. They take all our boys, and they get credit for us developing players, and then they kick our team's ass."
That sounds like a you problem, though, Terry. That sounds like a you problem. Don't be mad at it because we're a bigger school and people want to go there. Like, I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of schools around the Pac-12 that feel the same way about USC.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But once again, how long has that hatred been going? Probably not as long as it is here. And
Terry,
you know what?
Just quickly too. One of the things too about this Michigan thing, I'm not saying I do not believe that Jim Harbaugh is a liar and a cheater. Do I think that Michigan maybe has walked up to that gray line a little bit? Yes, that I am comfortable with. Crossing a line into outright cheating, I'm not for. And I don't think that's hard to say. But I don't, and we haven't heard from Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan yet. So before I'm going to convict the program and convict Jim Harbaugh of an allegation of just blanket cheating, I'd like to hear their side of things. And I don't know how or why that is so objectionable for most of the national media to kind of say yet. Michigan cannot respond to this yet. I am surprised that they haven't gotten their side of the story out through one of the media people that cover them regularly. And I'm surprised about that. I am. Because if
I'm surprised they didn't come to you.
they know their secrets are safe with me. No.
Maybe their PR machine is not as swift as it should be.
Right.
But yeah, I've been on the recipient on the end of Michigan actually trying to get their point across sometimes. Back in the day, what's his name? Bill McCarthy.
Oh.
No. Bill McCarthy.
He took it back.
No, not Bruce. Unbelievable Bruce. It wasn't him. No, but Michigan really wanted to hire him as their head coach, and when he was at LSU, and actually I had an LSU guy calling me saying McCarthy wanted to be the Michigan coach, but he couldn't get out of his contract, and there was a lot of things going on, but he wanted to be Michigan's coach. But there was some stuff going on, I guess, with people's wives and assistant coaches at Michigan back in the time. You can guess what it was. And so that was a major reason why he they wouldn't hire him, because there's, some stuff going on behind the scenes.
Terry, I'll leave you with this. I was going to say it in the next segment when we react, but I will leave you with this. At the end of the day, what's going on with Harbaugh right now is more things are coming out. One of my big things, I am concerned why they haven't spoken out, because they were kind of speaking out in the beginning, and I think the more things have come out, it's kind of a little bit quiet up there. I think maybe it's because there's nothing to say right now, but it is a little concerning that everyone is quiet up there. I think the best thing that we can do right now is stop all the speculation until the NCAA fully sends out, hey, this is what we're charging you guys with. This is what we believe is right now. And then, until it stops this source to that source and start saying this person said this, when we get to that point, we'll have more information. At this point, I'm just, as a former player, I want my Block M to be as clean as it possibly can. And we will see if it is that clean as we believe it is. Hope it stays that clean. And then for me, it's the players. It's worrying about the players. So let Jim's day will come, and we'll figure everything out that way. But I hope for the players' sake that everything was up there, because, I'm going to have blind support from my school. And part of having blind support is if you're on the wrong side of blind, it is what it is. But I stay firm that I assess that, I support Michigan, I support Jim Harbaugh, and I support Ann Arbor.
I think the reason Michigan is silent is because they know the NCAA is not officially investigating them now. And so if that's the case, they're probably saying, if we shut up, this story will go away. But then you get the Washington Post and you get footballsomething.com and ESPN. All these people are somebody's talking to them. Hey. They're not just making this up out of clean air. So somebody is talking to them. And so this story just won't go away because of the unnamed sources.
Yeah. Terry, last thing, I got about 30 seconds. Just simple yes or no. Let's say Michigan beats Penn State and Ohio State by double-digit points. Do you still consider them cheating, or did they do it? Did they beat them?
In the back of my mind, I'm going to say they just beat them. But let's see what the unnamed sources say 2-3 weeks from now.
Fair enough.
I just think Michigan is a great team, is just kicking people's ass.
I think that's what the case is, too. Terry Foster, you can read him on woodwardsports.com. You can see him on Woodward Sports programming. He's on our show quite a bit. So, Terry, we thanks so much. And when you get the statement from Stapleton, we will obviously put that for our audience. Thanks, buddy.
All right, you bet, buddy boy. We'll see you.
You got it. The great Terry Foster, everybody. Got to get to a break. More on this. You'll hear from Paul Feinbaum, Dan Miller at 3 o'clock, top of the hour, 10 minutes from now. But first, a message from Hamlin Pub.
All right, one of my favorite places. I love that place in Rochester, right off of Rochester Road. That's right. If you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular, they got the place for you. It's the Hamlin Pub. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations. Experience where everyone's a regular. Check them out on Half Off Pizza Thursdays. That's tomorrow. Any game day special available during all Michigan sports and NFL games. The Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today. Experience your new favorite pub for all things sports. It's the Hamlin Pub.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, gang, how would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas giveaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. Buy Cintron at your local Myers stores. Cintron's the healthier energy drink with the great taste. Look good, feel great, and the best version of yourself with Cintron. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, and Tom Mazaway. We've got Dan Miller coming up in just a couple of minutes. I do want to play this piece of audio for you, if I could. This is from ESPN Get Up this morning, and it's not going to be the most technically sound thing I've ever done. I'm going to play it off my phone into my own microphone. I'm going to see if this works. This is Paul Feinbaum earlier today.
Let me address the court for just a second, Grady. 2 weeks ago, I sat here with you and made the biggest mistake of my professional career. I gave Jim Harbaugh the benefit of the doubt. Never again. I thought it was too early to come down on him. It's not too early anymore. It's actually getting very late for him. I mean, this is a disgusting story with every revelation, which happens every single day of the week. And the fact that the Big Ten has not done anything yet is inexcusable. That's the only mechanism to stop this train. And quite frankly, a lot of people think it should be stopped. It's up to Tony Petitti, the new Big Ten commissioner, to step in. They're the only people with jurisdiction. The NCAA can be looking at this for the rest of our lives. And as far as whether Jim Harbaugh goes to the NFL, that's really up to NFL franchises, whether or not they want to get in business with this guy right now.
Feinbaum.
I got to tell you. Can I just?
Yeah.
What is the new revelation? Can anybody tell me what the new revelation is with Jim Harbaugh in the last week?
I guess maybe the newest one is Connor Stallions was on the sideline.
That's not him.
Versus Michigan. Versus Michigan State. I don't care if it was.
I understand that, but that's not Connor Stallions to begin with.
I thought Connor Stallions, I think I saw him on the Monday Night Football. I think he was on the Raiders sideline as well, helping out Josh McDaniels.
I mean, can we determine, is it okay if we just determine that is actually Connor Stallions?
Who cares if it is?
Before we move forward with this narrative, and even if it is, can we wait for the explanation first?
Yeah.
So
maybe he was helping McElwain.
But again, what is this? I don't even know what this is.
It's just a guy that's a gripe. They got Get Up this morning. Hey, Paul, you want to fill a few minutes?
Yeah.
Want to berate Jim Harbaugh? Wasn't Heather Dinich on that panel as well?
Oh, God.
Two of the biggest Michigan haters that are out there.
It's never
fun.
in my life.
It's good TV. I enjoyed watching it. I laughed. 2 weeks ago, Paul Feinbaum was in favor of Jim Harbaugh. Nothing's changed. It's just entertainment, man. And wait till this all shakes out. Michigan's going to get a slap on the wrist, and Harbaugh's going to sign a lifetime contract, and it's going to be in your face. Can I put the picture up yesterday? The team picture from Michigan, guys. Let's put this up.
This was taken a week ago, but posted last night.
This is from President Santa Ono, Who's he sitting next to? He is sitting next to none other than Jim Harbaugh. It looks like a Boy Scout picture. They're all having a good time. This is your 2023 Michigan Wolverine team picture.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, look, I'm just tired of talking about it. We're talking about it till we're blue in the face. There's this Connor Stallions picture coming out from Central Michigan. I don't know what it is. All I know is this. The process will take care of itself, and I will trust the process, and that is it. That's all I got to say. I trust the process.
No, I mean,
There's nothing else I can do.
I really don't have anything to add other than that, too. This is so dumb, but I will say to Maz's point that this is all entertainment. I do agree with that until somebody gets fired and loses their job, and the assistant coaches have to find new jobs and new homes and move their kids out of school and all that stuff. This is all fun and games for us.
Yeah.
If we're wrong, nothing happens to us. If they're wrong, they have to move their kids to a different school in a different state, taking a different job.
And ain't going to ever be that
bad. I'm just saying.
You know who's going to lose? It's the poor guy Stallions. He's going to lose. He's going to be on the island of misfit toys with the two deflators from Bill Belichick's days with Tom Brady. That's where he's going to disappear.
Yeah. I just think, again, all these allegations, man, we have yet to hear from Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. Am I surprised that they haven't leaked anything out to a couple of their people? Yes. Yeah. I actually am a little bit.
I still want to know what happened to Matt Weiss. I still think that's something to do with this. I believe it.
Well, the FBI said that that's not, or the Ann Arbor police said that it's completely different.
Okay.
So can we at least agree on that fact?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure
you
that
don't want
we
me to bring up Matt Weiss anymore? I will not.
No, I mean, you can bring him up all you want, but when the police come out, when they don't have to, and say that is a completely separate issue, I think I'll take them at their word for that.
The only reason I ever bring that up is because of all this computer stuff. And he was knocked out because of a computer, something with the computer issue. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's with those things I understand the fans that are not fans. I understand the people that are wanting further ahead. It seems like it's always something in Ann Arbor in the last 3 years, and I can attest to that. There is seeming to always be something in Ann Arbor, so I can understand that. But with that said, until I see allegations, until I see a charge, until I see, this is what really happened, until you release everything, then I'm going to take my better judgment and say, hey, there's nothing going on up there that wasn't ethical.
Would it change your mind if you found out that Ryan Day allegedly, let's just make up a story. I'm just making up a story here. Would it change anybody's mind if allegedly Ryan Day hired an investigative firm that allegedly employed his brother, and Ryan Day's brother found some alleged dirt on the Michigan football program and fabricated narrative about this guy standing on this team's sidelines, and that's it? I mean, it's all just it's a Inspector Gadget kind of movie.
Yeah, it is.
I'm actually almost enjoying it to a point right now. I was pissed at one point. Now, once the Connor Stallions on CMU thing hit, now I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing it up.
I mean, people are examining every sideline of every game.
Yep.
And the crowd of everything.
Yeah. I love the stadium surveillance that went to his one seat and had a guy holding up his phone like this. Oh, yeah, that's got to be the smoking gun.
Did you see what Portnoy did this week?
No, but he's been great. He's been great.
Portnoy went to Penn State and Ohio State.
Yes, he sat in the seat.
Penn State and Maryland, or whoever they played, and did this the whole game in his Michigan jacket and recorded the sidelines. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what? They found a way to bend the rule. That's what it comes down to. They did.
Follow the rule.
They're spying, yes. Call it what you want. It is. They're scouting the other teams. They found a loophole, and they're going to get away with it.
Absolutely, and they should.
I just hope there's nothing else going on in Ann Arbor. I hope there's nothing in Ann Arbor going on that has, I don't know.
You got a bad feeling?
You got anything, Bray?
You got something for us?
No,
spit it out, man.
Don't be like everybody else. Well, if this, if that.
I'm just saying, there's a lot going on right now. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that gets picked up by national newspapers.
Right.
Braylon Edwards saying there's a lot going on at Michigan. So if you got something,
No, like
you
what
want to clarify that for people because that can get taken.
I think he's just probably bringing up Hamburger Gate, Matt Weiss, this thing, that thing. Is that what you mean?
It's a lot of things that keep piling up, yes. Like, I don't have to explain myself. I don't care about the national media. Like, if you look up Michigan right now, there's a ton of things, whether it was Hamburger Gate, whether it was Cheeseburger, whether it was Matt Weiss, whether it was Ryan Smith, whether it was Italiano. I'm just saying there's a lot going on. There was not a lot going on before Jim Harbaugh is what I'm saying.
And especially winning. We'll take a break.
I agree with that, too.
Dan Miller, when we come back.
We'll hire Stallions here at Woodward Sports.
Who?
We'll hire Stallions here at
He's
Woodward
right
Sports.
behind me.
Let's go.
Dan Miller next. But first, a message from Feldman.
With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car service. It is called the Feldman Advantage. Take advantage.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, gang, let me talk to you about Let me talk to you about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official outdoor equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You can buy it. You can rent it all for 0% financing. Delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway out at Planet Fitness in Shelby. Great area out here. And these Planet Fitness studios are incredible, man. I'm telling you, it's a great place to be. We thank everybody for being out here. Let's go to the phone now and bring in the voice of the Detroit Lions, Fox 2 Sports Director. And, of course, you could watch us every day, 2 to 4 on fox2detroit.com and the Fox Local app right there on your Roku, Fire Stick, and many other ways. Dan Miller, how you doing, Dan?
What do you say, fellas? How are you?
Hey, Dan.
Doing great, man. And I'll tell you, this football team, watching them in the first half has been a really good thing, too. How would you characterize a 6-2 first half of the season?
Well, I mean, you love the record, and you if you're a Lions fan, this division really from the beginning of the year has kind of come back in their direction with everything that's happened. And we knew going in that there were just less – we talked about this, at the beginning. There's less questions about the Lions than there were about the other teams. And that's kind of played itself out, and now Minnesota losing Kirk Cousins is obviously of great significance to them in the NFC North and to them in the NFC period, and we'll see what happens from there. But, look, I think you take a 6-2 record, you feel great about that. They're in a good position. They played some good football. I think there's some things that you're looking at and you're saying they can improve on and things that you feel like they have to improve on if you want their biggest, largest postseason dreams to come true. But I like this football team winning when they don't play their best, and I like this football team when they do play their best. And I think if you can have both those things going in your direction, that's a good thing, because some days you just need to figure it out. And I think they've done that a couple times recently. Did that against the Bucs down in Tampa when they couldn't run the ball, and some of that against the Raiders when they couldn't score any touchdowns early, and just defense shut them down, and the offense just kept plugging at it until they got a couple.
D-Mill's always a pleasure to talk to you, especially after a win, 6-2. Detroit Lions stand right now second in the NFC, and they're on a bye week. So I think the Detroit Lions are exactly where they, as well as the fan base, wanted to be. Just talk a little bit about last night. Talk about, Monday night. Talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. And it seemed as though once he got those 8 in a row, he started to get rolling, he eventually shook off the NFL rust and added on how he played at NCAA. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, Braylon, it is something where, and I have had TJ and Lomas pointing this out from the beginning. He was running and not allowing things to develop early in the season. And he was just too quick to try to hit the hole, too quick to try to get to the corner every time, which you can do in college, but you can't do in the NFL. And I think he's learning what an NFL hole looks like, what an NFL run looks like. And even he said after the game, he said he was running nervous early in the season, and he's not feeling those nerves anymore. He's feeling more comfortable, and I think you're seeing the byproduct of that. So, look, at its core, we see a guy who we know has lightning speed. We know has great elusiveness. I think probably for a lot of people, myself included, there's a lot more ability to break tackles and run through people than maybe what I expected. And that's certainly an added bonus. But I just think you're seeing a guy who's figuring it out in the NFL, that with these athletes, it's a different type of running that's called for than it is in college.
Talking to Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions, and, of course, Fox 2 sports director. Dan, one of the things we were doing yesterday in the lead-up to the trade deadline was I think Braylon and I'll speak for you too, Bray, we're very comfortable with what Brad Holmes was going to decide to do. I don't think that Brad Holmes was sitting in that office in Allen Park seeing how he could screw it up or not improve this team. Why do you think they just did what they did yesterday? I felt like we had to talk the fan base down a little bit when you saw deals around this team with Philadelphia last week in San Francisco. How would you what do you say about the trade deadline yesterday and what the Lions did in acquiring Donovan Peoples-Jones, but nothing else?
Well, let's talk about the nothing else first, because I think that's what fans are mostly talking about. And we'll get to DPJ in a second. And not to downplay him, because I think he could play a role on this team before all is said and done. But the nothing else is, not getting Chase Young, or not getting one of those defensive ends, or prying Danielle Hunter from Minnesota, or, whatever it is, Montez Sweat from Washington. So, look, it's hard when you see all the teams that you think you're competing against opening up a shiny new toy, which they did go out and get players. But I think if you look at the history, and look, I would have loved to have seen one of those guys come here. All things being equal, if there's no repercussions and you don't have to worry about what you have to pay that guy or what you have to give up for that guy or any of those other things, sure, I'd love to line them up here. But I think if you look at the history of Brad Holmes and of Dan Campbell, that's just not the way they do things. We've wanted them or expected them a couple times in free agency to go out and spend big bucks. Chicago goes out and spends $72 million on Edmonds and $19.5 or whatever it was on Edwards, off-ball linebackers. And some of these corners that are, go out there for $560, $575 or whatever it is. And the Lions' big expenditure was, 3 years, $33 million for Cam Sutton, which looks pretty darn good right now. And $318 for Montgomery, which some people said for a running back is high, but it's not in the stratosphere of some of these other signings that people have had. So I think they were just sticking in character, and I just don't believe that they thought that those guys were a fit to the way that they wanted to do things. And I do think there's a long view, too, of what they're going to have to do in paying Amon-Ra St. Brown, ultimately paying Goff, paying Penei Sewell. They're going to have guys that are coming up here that they're going to have to figure it out. They may have to let Jonah Jackson walk because they can't afford to pay another offensive lineman. So if you trade for Young or Sweat or one of those guys that's up after this year, Are you looking at them as a 9-game plus playoff rental? And then are you willing to pay them $18 to $20 million a year? And then you get into, are they a fit for what you want to do? I mean, we've seen the stuff about Chase Young not being disciplined. I talked to somebody in Washington yesterday because I just wanted to hear it for myself. And they said, no, he's thought of as a guy that does not play within the system. What do you hear from Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn all the time? Guys have to trust the guys next to them. They have to do their job. We can't have anybody not doing that because that's when things break down. That's been a constant this year. So maybe they thought he wasn't a fit. Whatever the case, to your point, Ryan, it is about Brad Holmes and the way that he wants to do this and the way that he wants to build it. At the same time, I completely get where this is, Christmas morning, and a lot of people, other people got toys, and the Lions are kind of sitting back watching saying, what about us? And whether or not that'll have a long-term impact as you go to compete against some of those teams down the line. So I get it. And I will tell you, my biggest question probably going into this last 9-game run is that pass rush, even with 6 sacks on Monday night. It is when you get down to the toughest of times against good teams, is somebody besides Aiden going to win? Because they need to take some pressure off him. And, those 6 sacks came in the second half. And those 6 sacks came when they knew the Raiders had to pass. And let's face it, Garoppolo's a statue. Now, I don't want to take anything away from what they did in that game, because they did what they had to do. They beat the heck out of them, and they got a coach fired, 24 hours later. So, look, heck of an effort Monday. I am not in any way, shape, or form diminishing that. What I am saying is that doesn't answer all the questions I have about that pass rush, and that, to me, being the biggest question for this football team right now. Now, was Montez Sweat or Chase Young gonna solve all those problems? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah. But I think this fits in character for what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are doing and the way that they're building this team.
Yeah, and I'm glad I'm not Brad Holmes. 1, 2. I appreciate you watching the show, because I definitely was Ryan yesterday talking about Christmas.
I just think you taught like Rocky told Apollo. You taught me everything you know. It's the same analogy I gave yesterday, Dan, about Christmas morning. I mean, when you got all these teams opening up a shiny new toy, and you got coal.
Yeah, a lump of coal.
Well, and let's remember, guys, when free agency happened last year, there were a lot of us that looked at the Bears and said, oh, my God, look at all the money they're spending and all the players that they're bringing in. Well, so far that hasn't paid a lot of dividends, and oftentimes in the NFL it doesn't. Now, that doesn't speak to what maybe one of these guys would have meant, but I just think if you look at the track record for 3 years, they have not been big-ticket guys, and that didn't change yesterday.
Hey, looking at the end of the day, last thing about the trade deadline, look, it's the right player at the right price. That's the thing I heard over and over yesterday in terms of the teams that didn't make moves or made smaller moves. So I got to go with Brad Holmes. I got to trust him on that. The right player at the right price. And for us, it was Donovan Peoples-Jones. We got another wide receiver that can make some plays out there. Shout out to University of Michigan. And also he and my mother go to the same church. So that was a big pickup for us. Dan, big picture, 6-2 Detroit Lions right now. They currently – what has surprised you in a positive way? I'll ask these questions. One of my favorite questions. What has surprised you in a positive way about the Detroit Lions after 8 games?
Well, I think defense, and again, I do have questions about it. I don't want to contradict myself, and I'm going to keep that out there. I have questions about that defensive line and guys that can win in the pass rush. But look, you've gone from being 32nd, for a year and a half, started to improve at the end of last year, and they have overall continued that improvement this year. And, guys like Jerry Jacobs, who we didn't know was going to be a primetime player because we thought that Emmanuel Mosley was going to slip in there at some point, and that Gardner Johnson was going to be the nickelback and that we were going to see a different alignment. But you know what? Brian Branch, they couldn't keep him off the field. And then they couldn't get some other guys on the field. So now all of a sudden Jerry's got to play. Jerry's done a really nice job. Got a game ball from his defensive coordinator on Monday night. So I think that's a positive. I think Alex Anzalone has been terrific in the way that he has played. I think defensively, Aleem at times has been the guy that they hope that he will be, and we saw some of that on Monday night as well. If he can continue to do that, that would be huge. So I think we knew they had a good offense. Hats off to them for keeping that going with an offensive line that has been beaten up. and multiple starters missing multiple games. But I think, offensively, we expected them to score. They have scored. And I anticipate that they will keep scoring, in particular if they can get a little bit healthier and get Jonah back and get Ragnow back and get Montgomery back as they get ready to go to L.A. to face the Chargers. Defensively, look, they've made significant improvements. But if you're talking about being at the top of the NFC and competing when it gets to late January and into February, they're going to have to continue to improve and get even better and figure out some things in terms of getting the quarterback. But at the same time, two things can be true. One, you can have made significant improvement on the defensive side of the ball to the point where it is a reason that you have won some games, but it can also be true that you need more, and it has got to be better in certain phases. And I think that's where I am on that.
Hey, Dan, just a couple of quickies from you from Monday night. I looked at Josh McDaniels. I thought it was dead man walking that night, and it happened a day later. He is gone. Ziegler is gone. They cut their offensive coordinator out as well. It was one of the worst coach games I've seen, and I saw Jimmy Garoppolo play his worst game as a quarterback. Did you get that same feeling that this team didn't know what they were doing?
They just didn't look like they had any life. Look, they haven't been able to get anything going all year. Jacobs was the leading rusher in the league last year, and he hadn't been able to get on track. They had one good drive that entire game, and that was an impressive drive where they marched down the field on the ground and just ran right through the Lions, but they couldn't build anything on top of that. You got one of the most explosive receivers in the league who was a non-factor. Jacoby Myers, non-factor. Renfro, who's a crafty guy that can catch the ball, non-factor. And it just defensively, you got a wrecking ball out there in 98 and not much else happening. And I don't know, maybe they just enough is enough. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes there or how, Josh McDaniels is conducting himself or running the organization or anything like that. But based on what I saw Monday night, there wasn't much of anything there that was giving me hope that this thing was, had any sort of upwards trajectory.
Hey, it was a great thing seeing Lomas Brown get inducted into the Lions Pride. I was hoping that you would be on that field giving that speech, but it all worked out, and we're so happy for him.
Yeah, no, we had a really beautiful dinner on Sunday night where they had upwards of 100 Lions alumni in Ford Field and a dinner to celebrate Lomas. And they had a big party at MGM afterwards, and it was a really great weekend. And look, I was, as you guys know from the video, I was there when Lomas got word. I know how much this meant to him, and it was a wonderful weekend for him, for his family, and I can tell you, knowing his name will be on that wall forever means the world to him. It means everything to him, and I was just really happy to see him go through this and to see that smile on his face. And he's absolutely just over the moon with being up there with now 20 total members from this organization, in all their years of football, and Lomas is one of them. And I know that means everything to him. And they told me, he kept telling me that they shut down the casino on Sunday night. And I'm like, dude, you don't shut down a casino. And he said, I know, but we did. And I still, I have no idea how they do that, but all those guys, they were, I'm sure telling lies, having a good time, and just there celebrating not just Lomas, but the brotherhood they all have of having played for this team and having that lifelong connection.
I've shut down a couple myself, Dan.
I was thinking the same thing.
Hey, Ryan, I think if we're being real, they shut you down.
Shots fired.
Oh
boy.
That's a fact. That's fact.
That's tough.
Oh, Dan. All right, man. Thanks so much. Hey, what are you doing on Sunday? What do you do on the bye week?
Oh,
Crack
dude,
jokes on Ryan?
I plan on being on my couch, doing nothing, maybe eating some food, having a couple drinks, and this is going to be a total chill weekend.
God bless, man. Enjoy it, Dan. We'll talk to you next week. All right,
check
Dan out. That's right. He won the day. Dan Miller, everybody, and check us out, fox2detroit.com and the Fox Local app each and every day. We are going to take a break. When we come back, more Lions talk. We'll go around the NFL.
I'm watching this guy on the Stairmaster.
That's what Ryan. That's what they want Ryan
I'm
over.
dying just looking at him. I would use this like an escalator. I would just wait until it gets to the top, step up, wait till it gets to the top. I'm dying looking at this guy.
Oh, God. Let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts that have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, check out Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella, all GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them. What's everybody doing out there? Live from Planet Fitness in Shelby. Having a lot of fun out there today, out here today. Tom Mazaway, let's head over to you, my friend.
All right, let's do it, fellas. Let's start off with the trade deadline from yesterday. And one of the reasons that we all thought that Chase Young was not going to be a Detroit Lion. There was word on the street about him that they called him an undisciplined player with bad habits. This is an NFL general manager, a couple of people putting this out. I know it's I'll go to Braylon as a former player. When you hear something like that, what's your take on Chase Young?
When you hear something like that, it goes to exactly what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, we're trying to build here the guys that are not trying to be around the players they don't want to be around. Look, Chase Young's gone to a school in Ohio State. We know they kind of let them do what they want to do down there. They're a team that cares about getting to the league, and I'm not trying to throw shots at Ohio State. It just is how Ohio State's programs run. They talk about you can come here, you can go to the league, we'll get you drafted. When you have that type of attitude, when you put people in that type of situation, then you don't coach them a certain way. You don't take care of them. It's not a team atmosphere. So when you go to the league, when you were drafted second, I think it was second overall. Was he first? He was second overall. He goes there. He almost won the Heisman. Finished second in the Heisman as well. So he goes there with that energy. He has an amazing first year. They get to the playoffs, and they almost knocked Tom Brady off, if I remember correctly, in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's who he is. He's coming here with that energy. They don't like it in Washington. The 49ers feel like, hey, you know what? We're going to use it for a year. They won't re-sign him back, and that's why you see guys like Brad Holmes and other GMs not making a move on Chase Young, who we know has all the talent in the world. But This is a new day and age. You don't have a lot of players like Chase Young. You're starting to see teams stay away from players like that. DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, I don't even believe he's that type of person, but the little bit that he had go on, you see how long it took him to get on the team, and he's going to be a second or third ballot Hall of Famer. So I just think that he's one of those guys in that type of window. They don't want those guys anymore on NFL teams.
Hey, let me just say this, too. You know, for Dan to say that he contacted some people in Washington to get the lowdown on Chase Young. Dan grew up in the D.C. area. He started his career in the D.C. area. He's got a lot of great contacts there. If he says Chase Young does not play in the system, I absolutely believe him.
Yep.
Trust me on that one.
I agree.
And the last thing on it is when you play like that, Ryan, you always leave a man behind. Like when you play and you do your own thing on defense, even though your defense, you want to see quarterback, get quarterback, there's schemes, there's ways in which you do it. There's undercuts, there's stunts, there's times when you stay home, there's times when you watch the tight end. When you're just, hey, the hell with that, I'm going after the quarterback, you leave homies unstuck.
Hey, what did you say about Jordan Love?
I say he's not it.
Well, the Packers are going to be benching Jordan Love in favor of former Penn State's Sean Clifford.
Hey, he was
Get
all
out
right.
of here. Really, I did not see that news.
Sean Clifford is
Really?
going to quarterback the Packers most likely this Sunday.
That is wild, man. I've been look.
You said Green Bay was going to suck. I said he was going to suck.
Both.
Yeah.
I've seen Jordan Love play before. I knew he wasn't going to be good. And I knew Green Bay without a good – if you don't have a quarterback, man, I don't care how good you think your team is.
Yeah.
You won't win. And you certainly won't have a winning record. And, Minnesota might have won 9 or 10 games if Kirk Cousins, because of their schedule now, really lightens up. Yeah. I don't know what Josh Dobbs is going to be able to do for him. I don't think Josh Dobbs is terrible. He's not as good as Kirk Cousins. So that feels like a franchise in flux right now. But I will tell you this. One of the things that I said, there wasn't going to be another team in the NFC North above 500, and I'm going to stick with that. At the end of the season, I don't think there's one team that is above 500 wins more than 8 games.
Might be right.
Jordan Love, not that I feel bad for him, but personally, Favre, Rodgers, Love, that is impossible to kind of go after.
Hit on all three.
Yeah, it's just impossible.
And,
statistically impossible.
And Matt LaFleur is in trouble. And Matt LaFleur is in trouble because he's an individual that looked at Jordan Love. After Jordan Love's best year was his junior year. That's when they beat on Michigan State. That's when they looked really good, is his junior year. He comes back senior year, was not good at all. Didn't have a good senior year. They still draft him. And not only did they draft him, they drafted him in the first round while they didn't tell Aaron Rodgers. Now you can see what started to sour that relationship in Green Bay. They drafted a guy that wasn't good. When you got from Favre to Rodgers, and I understand scouting the quarterback position is tough. It is absolutely tough. Sometimes you know a guy's not it, man. And from jump, I just knew he wasn't it.
Green Bay would have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th spot in the draft right now.
Yeah.
They'll get a quarterback. They'll get a quarterback.
Oh, they are. And you see what they did. They got rid of one of their really good DBs. Their number 2 DB.
Yeah, Rasul Douglas.
They sent him to Buffalo, if I'm correct. Sent him to Buffalo and got a second-round pick. And then they set Jordan Love down. That's letting you know they're going after a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely going after a quarterback and trying to get some better players.
No doubt. Let me get a break. More around the NFL next. But first, a message from Swiss. Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football. And this year is going to be awesome. Fall, the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today. SwissINS.com. SwissINS.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? and even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Cold outside, so now it's time to go to 5 Iron Golf, located downtown at the Cambria Hotel. It's cold. But they got 13 brand new TrackMan simulators, so you can play any course from around the world. Augusta, Torrey Pines, all of them. St. Andrews, you got it all there. Come downtown, they got the food, they got the drinks, they have the looks, they have the vibe. And then on Thursdays, through the Woodward Sports Golf League from 5 to 7, you come down there, hang out with the guys from Woodward Sports. You never know who you'll see down there. And then let that lead you into Thursday night football. Come on down, come play, party, and practice. 5 Iron Golf, downtown Detroit.
All right, lots of NFL to get to. We've got intern Alex, part of Wolverine Wednesdays, coming up in about 8 minutes from now. Tom Mazaway, we go back to you, though, to set up our NFL coverage.
All right, let's get it going. Hey, quarterback pressures. Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson still on top of the list through week 8 now, which is that's pretty good. That's a good sample size right there. You know, Nick Bosa's right behind him in third. So got to keep those pressures going. He needs some help.
Got to stay on the quarterback. You know, we saw that. We see what happens when you stay on the quarterback. You get interceptions, you get unforced errors and turnovers. I'm mixing a little bit of baseball with football right now. I'm still stuck in the World Series. But when you get to the quarterback, man, good things happen for the defense, bad things happen for the offense. So keep it up. Want to see him get to the quarterback a little bit more, though. We've seen in big games he hasn't been able to necessarily get to the quarterback, but the other guys have been making up the slack. So keep it up. Aiden is right there. Just want to see. He's got a big game coming up against the Chargers, against that offense. That'll be a good test for Aiden Hutchinson.
And it might seem like I am hard on Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. And I might be. But again, when you're compared to Max Crosby and T.J. Watt and Nick Bosa, you know, that is a pretty elite class. I hope with a little bit more help along that defensive line and with Aiden Hutchinson getting better himself, that is a more appropriate club to be in. And that's just – I love Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's going to be great. I think he is going to be a top 5 guy in the NFL, and that's nothing to sniff at. But if it feels like we're a little bit, well, I'll speak for myself, but a little bit hard on him, that's because his numbers kind of feel like they're
1 or 2 games.
Yeah, like he'll accumulate all the numbers.
Like what happened last year.
Yeah, and then just I don't want to say disappear, but it kind of evens out, levels out.
I'll make it make sense for you. When you draft the individual number 2 overall, he is supposed to be one of the best players at that position in his league. After last year, No, let me finish. No, you are. Like, you're not talking quarterback. You're talking about defensive end. When you get drafted that high, when you're in the category, Joey Bosa got drafted that high, one of the best defensive ends in this game. Nick Bosa got drafted that high, one of the best defensive ends in this game. Vaughn Miller got drafted that high, one of the best defensive ends. J.J. Watt before he retired. So when you get drafted in that position, that comes along with it. On top of that, when you got players, like after every game, you get offensive linemen talking about how good Aiden Hutchinson was. You get other defensive ends talking about, you know what, this guy is going to be a player in the league. You get other coaches talking about, we couldn't stop that Aiden Hutchinson out there. So when you mix the 2 draft pick with how he played last year, 3 interceptions, it's only been done once by another defensive end. You mix that in there and you mix in other plays. What we say is true.
Here's why I disagree with that slightly, because every year, you know, some years are better than others. Some years you get LeBron James at number 1. Sometimes you get Cade Cunningham at number 1. And not saying that Cade Cunningham's
that's not what we're talking about.
I understand, but just the number itself. Sometimes you get Jamarcus Russell at number 1. Sometimes you get Joe Burrow at number 1.
I'm speaking from an individual. I went 3rd overall, and I know what came with that.
Well, I didn't go 3rd overall.
Well, then listen to the guy that did go 3rd overall.
Or you can listen to the guy that has an opinion, too.
You had your opinion, and I'm telling you mine from a place of I was there. 3rd overall, I didn't mind any of the expectations that came with it because I was 3rd overall. So everything they thought was going to be on me, I took it in stride because I was 3rd overall.
Sometimes you can get Deion Sanders at 4. Sometimes you get Desmond Howard at 4.
Well, we've already said that he's good, though. We saw him already. This isn't his rookie year.
Right.
We saw him play a whole year.
Right.
We saw 9 sacks. We saw 3 interceptions. We saw the pressures last year. We saw people say what he did in the offseason, how he got better.
Sometimes you get J-Mo at 12.
Right.
Sometimes you get
you better watch it. You better watch it.
Right. Somebody else.
DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware at 12.
Hall
I
of
mean,
Fame.
it is what it is, man.
All right, let's go to our favorite guy, Brian Baldinger, all right?
You suck.
You know Brian Baldinger
Anytime you pull out the I played, I'm coming back.
Okay, but that's different. That was a specific situation. 3rd overall, 2nd overall.
All right.
We love Brian Baldinger. Baldy loves the Lions, and he loved those Lion rookies on Monday night. Jahmyr Gibbs. No, he's not going to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs yet. He's talking about Sam Laporta and Colby Sorsdahl.
I'm watching this touchdown right at the end of the first half, and I'm looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, who had 189 yards of offense, and rookie right guard Colby Sorsdahl, making his first NFL start, played excellent, covering up the inside right here, giving Goff plenty of time to make this throw to the rookie tight end, who led the team in receptions last night and scored his 4th NFL touchdown. They're having a blast at Ford Field in Motown. Rookie class, like last year's, is excellent.
And he continues on that rookie class. The man who led the whole NFL in total yards was, of course, Jahmyr Gibbs.
I want you Lion fans to get excited about this play. This is 4th quarter. This is Lions football. I want you to get your cameras ready, and I want you to screenshot a shot right here. There's Glasgow, Sorsdahl, Sewell, right? Getting it done. All right? I just want you to screenshot that right there. That's Lions football. That's just a wake of Raiders. As right here, Jahmyr Gibbs tries to get out of this shoelace tackle and go make another house call. That's one pride. That's the way you play football. You just wear teams down and you break their sword.
Pride.
One pride. Hey, just a point about what he said about Sorsdale and another Brad Holmes pick.
Yeah.
Sorsdale might be the reason that you don't have to re-sign Jonah Jackson.
Yeah.
That is elite.
Yeah.
That is elite general managering.
Agreed.
And that's a
elite general managering.
Hey, Ryan, I agree with you on that.
Oh, good. And I wasn't a 5th-round pick. Guys, I got to get a break. Intern Alex next, Michigan football. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys, burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Why don't you try the best cheeseburger or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger? Or if you got chicken on the mind, you want the Dolly chicken sandwich or Bob's hot chicken sandwich. And upgrade your regular fries with, the chili cheese fries. Excuse you.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
You can't talk like that, man.
And the loaded
this is a
baked
squeaky
potato
clean
fries.
Planet Fitness, bro.
I'm excited for Big Boy. What can I tell you? I'm ready for dessert already. The Reese's Chocolate Peanut Butter Thunder Cake and the Funnel Cake fries. And get yourself a strawberry shake like I had at Ford Field on Monday night. It's Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We are back at Planet Fitness. Myself, Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazaway. Got the boys over there.
Yeah.
Lucas hanging out. Parker, JB, having a fun on Wednesday.
Wednesday, baby.
Having fun on a Wednesday. But you know what time it is? It's 3:36 on a Wednesday, so it's time for us to bring in intern Alex, part of Skinny Butcher's Wolverine Update. IA, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, man. You see, I got the intro, me to you, man. You know, I'm working on my Michigan to Michigan thing, man.
Oh yeah, gotta get that connection going, just like Henny and you.
Definitely. Speaking of connections, you see Paul Feinbaum on ESPN today. We got to ask you just one time, get it out there, get it over with. Then we can talk about the team itself and the Purdue game. What do you make and what's going on with in Ann Arbor as it relates to Feinbaum and other people continuously coming out and adding more layers to the Jim Harbaugh / Connor Stallion Spygate situation?
I'm just not really concerned with what Paul Feinbaum has to say, honestly. Last night, the head of the CFP committee said that this is an NCAA problem, not a CFP problem, so it's nothing this year. And if the university is okay with going ahead and extending Harbaugh, as the rumors are looking like, that's what matters to me.
Intern, that's one of the best answers that I have ever heard somebody answer a question I have ever given. So, you know what? Let's start there. College football playoffs. Last night, University of Michigan has been 2 pretty much all year behind Georgia. Georgia being 1 literally for the last 3 seasons. Now Ohio State, out of the blue, is number 1. Michigan falls to 3. What was your initial reaction to that ranking?
My initial reaction is I think Ohio State's won purely for their resume. They do have some great wins in Notre Dame and Penn State. But if Michigan wins out, I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. I think they'll cleanly get the 1 seed. Georgia's not looked that impressive this year. So at the point, Michigan, the actual number doesn't really matter until the playoff comes out.
The one thing, Braylon said this last night. He's been saying it all along, Alex, and I agree with him. The reason why you put Ohio State first is if they lose to Michigan, when they lose to Michigan, you don't have to drop them below 4. Do you agree with? I agree with him.
And if Michigan loses,
then
you can kick them all the way out.
That's right. What do you think of that, Alex?
Me personally, I find it very hard to foresee a world where a non-conference champion gets in this year. I think Florida State's going to run the table. I think Michigan's going to run the table. SEC champion will get in any year. And then I think if Oregon or Washington win the Pac-12, they're in. Texas-Oklahoma rematch. So I have a really hard time personally seeing Ohio State get in the playoff this year if they lose to Michigan. But if they do, I think that'd be a disgrace to the sport because winning your conference still means something in my book.
That's a great point, too. You talk about 4 teams going for 2 spots, essentially. You know, Washington, Oregon going for a spot, and then Texas, Oklahoma going for a spot. Alex, let me ask you, what do we expect from this Michigan team? Now all the noise is out. It feels like Michigan is an us against the world mentality. What kind of Michigan team do you see coming out of the break here?
I think we're going to see an absolutely furious Michigan team. I think they've taken this whole sign stealing scandal personal. Well, people think that they've only been winning due to the sign stealing and whatnot. So I think Michigan's going to come out here and prove that they really are the best team in the country through sheer physicality in these upcoming weeks.
Hey, Alex, it's Maz. Thanks for coming on with us again. We look forward to you every week. Hey, the college football playoff rankings came out last night. The number 1 team is the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, is it laughable? I don't understand it. I don't get it. What are you guys laughing at?
Braylon asked the same thing.
Oh, he did.
The same question.
Hey, Alex, let me ask it this way.
That's my fault, man.
Alex, let me ask it this way. Let me ask it this way. I feel like after all these years, we still don't know, and the committee doesn't know, whether to pick the most deserving teams or the best teams. Because Ohio State may be the most deserving team.
Yeah.
They have a road win at Notre Dame, and they have a home win against Penn State. 2 pretty good wins at the time. But when asked last night if Ohio State's the best team in the country, Kirk Herbstreit and everybody else said no. So, what is the committee supposed to be in their final year of the committee, because we're going to a 12-team playoff next year?
It almost doesn't matter.
Thank God.
But, Alex, best team versus most deserving. What do you say the committee represents or is supposed to represent?
It changes year by year. It's not a consistent committee to avoid biases and stuff. But in my book, I think it should be most deserving, because there's a reason we played a game. And if it was just best team, we'd have Las Vegas as the playoff committee, because they ultimately know sports the best at anyone. But it should be most deserving by far.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, because at the end of the day, if we're not going to do the most deserving team at the time, then why do it week to week? Why not just wait till the end of the year to do it? Like, if you're going to do it week to week, we come out, hey, this is what we think this week, this is what we think this week. You know why we do it? It's because it's an eye test. You don't need an eye test to tell you that Georgia and Michigan are the best two teams in the country. You don't need an eye test to tell you that Georgia's back-to-back national championships and should never rank below 1. But if you're going to talk about what you see now, well, most deserving, I agree with you 100% with that one. Get us up to date on Purdue. Purdue is a team that always likes to pass the ball. We know that we've seen Aiden O'Connell, who just got the nod in Las Vegas, replacing Jimmy G. Is there anything that concerns you about the Boilermakers this Saturday at 7:30 in Ace Deuce?
Yeah, so the Purdue's pretty middle-of-the-road team when it comes to most stats, actually below average, as their 2-6 record would reflect. The one thing I'm going to be really interested to look at is this might be Michigan's best offensive line test of the season so far, because Purdue actually has a quietly good defensive line. They're currently 20th in the country in sacks and 26th in tackles for loss. And one of their standout playmakers is Yanni Karlaftis, which, if that name rings a bell, his brother.
Oh, yeah, George Karlaftis.
He's the first-round pick to the Chiefs. Yeah, also played at Purdue. So it's going to be a real test for Michigan's offensive line right before Penn State.
Hey, Alex, do you feel that Michigan has to just bury these teams now? Yeah. You talk about them being motivated. I'm sure you can only insulate yourself so much. Do you feel like they just have to come out and hammer teams and just embarrass them? There is no margin for error, is there?
I 100% think so. With all the scandal and drama going around, Michigan has to prove that they're just by far and away the best team in the country. So they need to keep their foot on the gas all game long. I'll be interested to see if Harbaugh keeps the starters in a little longer and try to run up the score a little bit this weekend and really prove and build a resume for the college football playoff ranking.
I make no bones about it. I hate the night game. I understand I might be part of a generation that prefers the noon game, but the night game, okay, I give you the night game in September, maybe early October.
November?
November at night in the Big Ten? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of November night games. I'm with you. I like noon games just because, I'll be honest, I'm very impatient. I hate waiting all day to watch Michigan play. And so I want to do first and foremost. But I don't like the rule, and I dread the day eventually when we get a night Michigan-Ohio State game, because that's what Fox and the other cable networks want.
Last thing for me, IA, check this out. With the game's at 7, what are you doing for the game this Saturday?
This Saturday, I'm going to be watching all the noon window, and then I'm going to try to catch the first half of Georgia, Missouri, and then I'll probably head out, hit up some tailgates around town, catch up with friends. All
right, so check this out. I'll be in Ann Arbor on North Campus, Upland Drive, at Prime Eatery from 12 to 2. So you got to pull up on your boy, man. I'm going to get you one of these brand-new hamburgers that they've been telling me about. So pull up, 12 to 2. I take care of you.
Look at that, Braylon Edwards.
100%. I'll be there.
There it is. There it is.
Alex, last thing for me. We saw yesterday Santa Ono, the president of the University of Michigan, post a picture of him next to Jim Harbaugh in front of Team 144. When I was at Michigan, Lee Bollinger was the president. We loved him.
Yeah.
We loved
Bill Martin. I love
Lee
Bill Martin.
Well, he was the athletic director.
I mean, yeah.
But
Mary Sue Coleman.
Yeah, Mary Sue Coleman. We loved Lee Bollinger. Do you guys even talk about Santa Ono? Is he like a cool kind of guy to have on campus? He seems like he loves Michigan football and is so engrossed in the community. I'm just curious to see what you guys say about Santa Ono.
Yeah, the student body loves Santa Ono in general. Schlissel oftentimes came off a little cold, it seemed like athletics were almost a burden on him, where Santa Ono is the exact opposite. He's seen at, almost every basketball, football, hockey game. and he seems really involved with students, and he will go out of his way and individually help people. So he's done a great job during his tenure so far as president, and that reflects on the student body's opinion of him.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, we really appreciate it. Good stuff, intern Alex. Enjoy the games this weekend. We will look forward to talking to you next week. And again, this segment brought to you by Skinny Butcher. Try Skinny Butcher out.
Megan, Skinny Butcher.
Yeah,
cool.
we had Megan from Skinny Butcher out this week, and we got a chance to talk to her. So we're very excited about all the products happening and all the great things happening with Skinny Butcher. So thanks so much, Alex. We appreciate it, my friend.
All right, thank you. Go
All
Blue.
right,
Appreciate
you. Got it.
Go Blue, baby.
Guys, we'll be right back. Is it over? Is it over? We'll have that for you coming up next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. It's where I'm headed right after work today. I'm going to go get some pork chops tonight, though. Pork chops, Skinny Butcher, that's right. No, not Skinny Butcher, Fairway Packing. I'm going to get that's completely different. That is completely different. Fairway Packing Company, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today, and they've got great pork chops, too. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Prime A source pack cut to perfection.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Let me talk to you about Bullseye Event Group. Join Woodward Sports at Long Drink Sunday for the Lions and Bears. Not this Sunday. It's in a couple of weeks from now, but you can get your tickets today. Shed 5. It's going to be a bash. Lions Tailgate, the official Lions Tailgate, back in better than ever. How would you like to pregame with Woodward Sports? Be treated like a VIP. You can get your tickets for Thanksgiving Day as well against the Green Bay Packers. Food, beverages, entertainment, all included. BullseyeEventGroup.com, BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Can I say something real quick, Ryan and Monty?
Please, because I'm about to.
Long drink is a good drink. I'm not one for seltzers. The only way I drink seltzers is on the golf course with my buddies, and then middle-aged women drink those White Claws and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But those doggone long drinks, long drinks, pretty good, man. They use gin. I love them.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Also, for the last 2 hours, gang, Braylon and Maz and JB have been communicating secretly without me. And they are looking at each other in Parker, and they're throwing their hands up, and they're doing this, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, all this frustration and this, that, and the other thing. And I think it's me. I think I'm having not doing something right, or like they're pissed at me because I'm like not going to them enough, or like I'm screwing something up.
Would you like to
know what
it is?
It is the trade deadline for their fantasy football operation, and they are actively making trades, the 4 of them, throughout the show.
Yeah.
This has been incredible to witness.
I'm professional.
Not unprofessional.
I just sent you another one.
I appreciate that.
Clue me in so I don't think for the last 2 hours that I'm having like this disaster of a show.
Man, just send me this. I'm trying to get
Dak Prescott and A.J. Dillon for.
Because I want Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, my God. Get out of here with that mess.
He's got Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Is it over?
You don't need Dak Prescott.
Is it over tonight, Tom Mazaway?
It better be over because the Rangers, if they don't win tonight, I don't think they have a chance to win. They are down 2 big players. Max Scherzer out for the series and Adolis Garcia, their MVP from the ALCS. He is out as well with a pulled rib cage, a lat, whatever you want to call it. He is out. They got to win tonight. They put their ace on the hill, Nathan Eovaldi, but the ace for the Diamondbacks is on the hill in, of course, Zach Gallen. So this was a tough game. They were up 11-0 last night, and the Diamondbacks came back. They lose 11-7. But the Diamondbacks are tough, man. They are road warriors as well. This game is in Arizona, and the Rangers have not lost on the road yet.
And that's
so I got to ask you, man, if you're gambling on this game, are you taking the team that's down 2 players but haven't lost on the road, or are you taking the desperate team to win this game at home?
Well, it sounds like to you both teams are desperate.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. I think the Rangers lose this game. I think they'll be in trouble. I really believe that they'll be in trouble, even though they're up 3-1, and they're looking for their first ever World Series title. This has happened to them twice now. In the 2011-2014 seasons, they had their chances to win, and they could not close the games out, and St. Louis came back to beat them, and I forgot the other team that came back to beat them. You don't want this going past tonight. Tonight, it's in Arizona on Fox. Tune in the World Series. Hopefully the Rangers, who used to be the Washington Senators back in the 1960s, will win their first championship ever.
Do you see what Mad Dog said?
No, what did he say?
It's over tonight. The D-backs.
Oh, that's bad. I don't like to hear that.
He was wearing a D-back jersey today.
I know.
He lost that bet.
I don't want to hear that from him.
I don't think it's over yet. I think the Diamondbacks are going to pull up.
Oh, God.
Would you think the Diamondbacks are going to win?
I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be over. I want the Rangers to win and call it a day.
To get over it.
Yeah, call it a day.
All right. Well, I don't know, man.
Eovaldi
it's in the water.
and Gallen.
Yes.
It's in the water.
Joey Gallo.
Not Joey Gallo, Zach Gallen.
Not Joey Gallo, Zach Gallen.
Zach Gallen.
Oh, my gosh. Give me a winner, Maz. Pick it.
Rangers will win it tonight in extra innings and win the World Series.
There you go, Bray. Who you got?
I'm going to take Diamondbacks. I want the series to extend.
Hey, Pistons and Blazers tonight down at LCA, and tomorrow Red Wings will host the Florida Panthers, the runner-ups for the Stanley Cup last year.
Good stuff, man. I think I'm going to watch a little Pistons tonight for a couple minutes.
Yeah, the Jailblazers.
Hey, man, not anymore, man.
I know.
They got Chauncey running the show over there. It's always great to see Chauncey Billups.
You know what's great about that is Bonzi Wells did on All the Smoke, the podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, great podcast. They interviewed Bonzi Wells, and he talked about that, like the Jailblazers. Yeah. And all that. He said, you know what's so crazy about that time, Ryan and Matt? None of them had ever got arrested. Like, even though, they
were just always in trouble.
Even though, but like in trouble, like technical fouls. They weren't in trouble, like getting arrested.
Didn't they have a couple of bad seeds on that team? I'm not going. I can't remember. To be honest,
they may have had people that people looked at as bad seed, like Rasheed Wallace, who ended up coming from Detroit. And but see, you got the no seed. But when you thought he was in Portland, he was a bad seed. You got to know him here, and he's a seed. So none of them have been arrested, and that was the worst name ever. The Jailblazers, none of them. And to this day, none of them have ever gotten arrested.
Hey, I love those old Bill Walton Trailblazers with Lionel Hollins.
The headband.
Oh, that was great. With
Rest in peace to
red uniforms.
Lucas.
Jack Ramsey on the sideline. Mo Lucas.
Squared up. Almost knocked Daryl Dawkins out.
Remember that?
Hey, yo, Todd Crawford, I see you, buddy. I see what you did there. He said, yo, Ryan. Yo, Rocky Ermanni, because that's what I was.
Some people hate
yesterday.
just for hating.
Some guys, they just hate for no reason.
No reason.
Bray, get us out of here. What a great day today. Want to thank each and every one of those people who have kind of stuck with us. We had some technical difficulties at the start of the show. If you stuck with us, we thank you.
I'm going to get a hydro massage right now.
Oh, are you?
Hell yeah.
Good for you.
I'm at Planet Fitness.
Good for you. Bray?
Hey, Maz, it looks like you're fleecing me in this trade, man.
Not really, Bray. We'll talk about it when we get
we'll
off
talk
the air.
about it.
Yo, look, like Ryan and Marty said, we really appreciate you guys for staying tuned. When we were trying to figure things out, you stayed with us, and here we are. We had a great show because of you. From my man, Tom Mazaway. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Oh, get out of here with that mess. Get out of here with that mess.
What happened last time Michigan played Ohio State? What happened last time Michigan played Ohio State? What happened the year before that? 18 years.
Braylon getting into it with the fans. Bye-bye, everybody.
You know what's so funny about that? 18 years ago, we actually beat him, and I was on that team.
There you go. All right.
Oh,
Rocky Top.
We appreciate you for
Top
everybody.
coming.
Ryan and Monty. We are Woodward Sports Network, and we will see you guys later.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew this weekend for our Michigan